Hi, welcome to my second channel, and in this channel, English Fluency TV. So this channel is here to help you improve your fluency, improve so that you could speak English with confidence. And the way you improve and the way you find the confidence speaking the language English is to listen, write, and speak. This is the three things you need to do for you to improve the fluency, for you to improve speaking English. So what are they? Like I said, it is to listen, then write, and also speak. And when I say listen, what do you listen? Where do you listen English? Do you just listen when others are speaking, or do you need to listen in other ways? And the way you listen, which I have covered on other videos, is that finding programs on television, YouTube, find a channel that you follow who speaks English, watch topics that you enjoy on YouTube, so you listen in English, listen to news channels, listen to interviews, listen to podcasts, listen to audiobooks, and that's how you listen. The more you listen, you will understand, you will train your hearing, how they sound and how the native speakers speak the language. So that's how you listen. The more you listen, more it will train your hearing, how the sounds are like. Secondly is to write. So when you are listening, make sure you have a notebook where you write what you hear. So firstly, write the way the word should be written, and in bracket, write the way you hear, because many words are not pronounced the way it's written. There are many words which is written in one way, but then when we speak, we say it differently. For example, receipt, doubt, Wednesday, thought, debt. These are some of many English words which are written in one way, but then when we speak, we say it in another way. And the way I say is that when you write these words, write it the way you should write, the way it's written, but then in bracket, write it the way you hear so that you could pronounce it the way you should. And also there will be many vocabularies, many words which you can't say. You have to practice few times until you get it right. And as I mentioned before on my earlier videos, is that when I was learning English, there were words which I couldn't say it. So I used to write it the way I heard it. Then I used to practice in parts. So for example, I couldn't say in the early days constituency. I couldn't say that. So what did I do? I wrote it into parts, constituency. And then what did I do? I used to practice those parts, and then after practicing few times, I then practice it together. So there will be many words, like I said, you're going to find difficult of saying. All you do is practice in parts, practice it few times, and then practice it together. And that's how you learn those words that you find difficult saying in one go in the beginning. Because obviously English isn't our native language. Those of us come from other parts of the world, or we are not born in English language. Obviously English is going to be difficult in the beginning. All you have to do is practice. Practice will make perfect. You keep on practicing by listening, by writing, and speaking. Now when I say speaking, do you have to find someone who speaks English and you speak with them? Yes, that's one of the ways, but there are other ways you can do to practice, and that is to stand or sit in front of a mirror and speak. So you could hear and you could see how you are speaking, how you are saying, and keep on doing that until you feel confident of the way you are speaking, of the way you are saying these words, saying these vocabularies. And try to increase your vocabularies, the regular ones. Try to practice those. And the way you increase is to practice especially those vocabularies that we need on our regular day-to-day life. Because sometimes some of the vocabularies, we have it in our mind, but we don't really know how it sounds when we speak. So it's best to practice those we need in our general lives. For example, I'm sitting now in a car. So what vocabularies do I have in the car? So I have the steering, I have the radio, I have the fan, I have the gas, I have the clutch, I have the brake, I have the gearbox, I have the keys. So these are the vocabularies I need in the car. I have the window, I have the mirror. Then go to your bedroom, sit and look at the bedroom and see the vocabularies that you have in your bedroom. So what do you have in the bedroom? You have the bed, you have the bed sheet, you have the wall, you have the ceiling, you have the wardrobe, you have the floor, you have the pillow, you have the duvet. Then you go to your kitchen and look at the kitchen and look at the vocabularies that you have in your kitchen. So what do you have there? You have the cooker, you have the tumble dryer, you have the dishwasher, you have the sink, you have the tap, you have the dishes, you have the plate, cup, you have the glass, spoon. Now you might be thinking, yeah, these I already know. Now because English isn't your native language, you might think these I already know. You've got it in your mind, but you don't know how it sounds like when you speak, when you are saying these vocabularies. Sometimes you need to say it a few times, you need to practice it a few times to improve those regular vocabularies. So if I were you, I would do that. I would sit in a car and I would go through the vocabularies that I have in the car. I would go to my bedroom, I would go to the kitchen, I would go to the lounge. As I'm walking, I would look at the vocabularies that I have around me. So I have the road, I have the trees, I have the houses. So keep going, keep learning, keep practicing those vocabularies to increase. The more vocabularies you have in your mind, in your life, more better, more easier it's going to be for you to speak the language. Because there is no other way for you to increase, for you to improve your fluency of speaking the language. Many of us, we don't find the confidence, we don't have the confidence of speaking. Why? Because we are thinking of the grammar too much. That's another thing I've already mentioned on my other video, is that if you need to improve your English and improve your fluency of speaking the language English, you shouldn't think of the grammar too much, because if you do, you're never going to speak. Because every time you speak, you're going to think that, should I say this first or should I say that first? And you're not going to speak. Remember, when we speak with others, with the native speakers, they're not thinking how you are speaking. They're not thinking of your grammar. They don't even know the grammar. Most of them don't have no clue of the grammar, the rules of the grammar. They just speak beautifully because they know the vocabulary they need for them to speak, and they know how to pronounce those vocabularies, and they pronounce it beautifully, so it sounds beautiful when they speak. It's not because they specialize or they're specialist in grammar, that's why it sounds good. No, it's not. It's because they pronounce these vocabularies beautifully, and that's why it sounds beautiful. And also, English is their native language, so obviously it will sound beautiful when they speak. The other thing is, I wouldn't worry too much about my accent, the way I speak, because I wasn't born in English language. I was born in another language, which means the way I talk, my tongue, my mouth has a set of way of speaking. So now when I'm learning English, obviously it's going to come out in a different way. The accent is going to be different. But just because your accent is different, it doesn't mean your English is bad. It just means you're going to have a different, beautiful accent. That's what it means. So I wouldn't worry too much about my accent, and I certainly wouldn't worry about the grammar in the beginning. Because for you to speak, you're not becoming specialist in grammar. That is not your aim, to improve your fluency of English. For you to improve, you don't need to be a specialist in grammar. So don't worry about the grammar. Don't concentrate too much on the grammar when you are learning to improve your fluency of English, when you are learning to improve your English. So to conclude, if I were you, I would listen, I would write, and I would speak to improve my English. And if you keep on doing those three over and over and over again, trust me, speaking the language will become easy. You will improve speaking, you will improve with the fluency easily. So I hope this video helps. If it does, please do give a thumbs up. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. And hope to see you again on the next video. Bye for now.